Hi Aquarius, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your March 2021 love reading. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you interested in booking a personal reading with me, just check out the description video for more details there. And for those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, this is what I call the Bridging the Gap spread, and the way it works is the cards on the left side represent your energy toward the connection with your main love interest. Cards on the right side represent their energy toward the connection. We'll take a look at the past energies, present energies, future energies. Once we get through all those, we'll actually pull some oracle cards with some additional insight. That's where the bridging gap dynamic comes into play. And as far as the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot, on the right side we have the Tarot Sexual Magic. Also keep in mind it's just a general reading, so I'm going to be referring to the cards on the left as your energy and the cards on the right as the other person's. If you feel like it's the other way around for your connection, definitely trust that. Alright, so with all that out of the way. Past energy on your side, we have the Eight of Coins. So this is actually Virgo energy here. And so for some of you, this could just be saying that you were really putting in a lot of work in the connection, actually trying to make it into something tangible, right, and stable. For some of you, could just be saying regarding intimacy too. You might have been working on opening up more toward this person. And for a smaller percentage of you, could just be saying that you really might have been putting a lot of energy into work and not necessarily a lot of energy into the connection. But I feel that's a little bit less likely just because I do see, your body language pointed toward the cards on that side. So I'd say it's probably the least likely, but it's definitely possible. Past energy on their side, we have the Knave of Wands. So this is the equivalent to the Page of Wands. So this could be someone that you might have felt, brought some passion to the connection, but you might have felt like their energy was a bit inconsistent, especially if you were working on building it into something more stable. You might have felt like for them, they kept it more at the surface level, so you felt like the amount of effort being put in wasn't equal toward the connection in the past. All right. In the present position on your side, we have the King of Arrows. So this is actually the court card for Aquarius energy. So this could just be saying on the one hand, you're feeling a lot more like yourselves, but at the same time, if we look at the body language now, right, like its back is clearly turned, and he's holding those flowers. So to me, it's like the feelings are probably still there, but I feel like you might not be communicating them at this time. Again, because it could have just been like you felt like the dynamics in the relationship were off, where you kind of felt like you were doing the majority of the work, and this person wasn't really putting in anything worthwhile. So it could just be you detaching in that regard. All right. Present energy on their side, we have the Knave of Swords. So this is actually the equivalent to the Page of Swords. So more page energy here, and then we see the Page of Swords compared to the King of Swords on your side, right? So we could see the contrast there. You might just feel like they're not quite meeting you on your level. You might feel like you're further ahead in this situation than they are, and you could possibly, because of that, be having doubts as to whether or not it could actually be a sustainable relationship. But yeah, this could just be saying that they might be a bit intimidated by you. So for some of you, it might be that you actually put yourselves out there and let them know what you were looking for, right? You might have just stated it quite flatly, and then this person might not quite know how to deal with that. So that's one way I can see the energy playing out there. All right, future energy on your side, we have oppression. So this is actually the equivalent of the Tower card in traditional tarot. And I will say, seeing this come up, could be saying that for some of you, part of the issue might be that you didn't communicate to this person what you were feeling, because if we look at the background there, it looks like the stormy waters and everything, right? You see like lightning in the background, and then if we look at her facial expression, if I could get it to focus. All right, well, it's not focusing too well, but I think you could see, she looks like she's definitely disappointed, but at the same time, she has her back turned to those waters. So it could just be saying that for some of you, you might not have actually expressed to this person this was how you were feeling. And for some of you, it could just be a matter of the pace that you two are moving at as well, to where if we think about the tower, right, that's building something up. So in your mind, you might have just expected that the relationship would have been further ahead than it is. So that could be part of where the disappointment is coming from as well. But primarily, the main thing that I'm seeing for the majority of you now seeing this in the future position could just be saying that you're not necessarily expressing what you're feeling. And not that that would necessarily resolve the issue, but that's what I'm kind of picking up on there. If that's the case, um, Venus will be moving into your third house communication a little bit later in March, and Mercury will move there, I think. I think Mercury's going to be there early in April. So worst case, those two energies moving through your third house communication, you might feel like it's a much better time to communicate, especially given that you guys were just experiencing a Mercury retrograde in your sign. And now, yes, it's moving direct again, but it's going to take a while before it clears its shadow. So I see there. And the future energy on their side, we have the Two of Swords. So in traditional tarot, Two of Swords does represent someone, similar to what I was saying with you as far as turning their back on their emotions and trying to approach the situation from a strictly logical standpoint. But in this particular deck, it does look like he's actually making the offer, and the other person is just kind of, looking away from it. So again, it could be the same theme that I was picking up on, like I said, where, you just might not feel like what they're bringing to the table is at the level of what you have to offer. So that could be where the mismatch is there. I don't know if it's necessarily, anything deliberate on their part. It could just be that they move a bit slower than you are in the situation. All right. And the bottom of the deck on your side, we have Judgment. So to me, this says that even if you do actually end up leaving the connection with that tower energy there, it looks like this might come back around anyway. I'm trying to think of a timeline for this, but, well, maybe. It's kind of hard to say, actually, but yeah, it looks like this could come back around again. Possibly, actually, now that I think about it, when we have the next Mercury retrograde, because the next Mercury retrograde is going to be in Gemini, and that's your fifth house of romance creativity. So it could be one of those things that when the Mercury retrograde comes back around, this situation comes back around again. And the bottom of the deck on their side, we have the Eight of Pentacles. So interesting, you guys had that in the past position on your side, and now we see it here. And again, it's a guy offering a rose, right? So at least this time, it looks like they're definitely further along. But at the same time, it could just be saying that that's pretty much what it is, where, this person could just be moving at a slower pace than you are. And then you're going to have to, I guess, decide if that's something you could deal with or not, But we'll see what the Oracle cards add to the mix. So first we'll pull from the Aqua Moonlight deck. And I did pre-shuffle this deck before we started recording, but what I'm looking for here is just some jumpers. So first I'll be looking for unspoken messages from you to them, and then from them to you. If I shuffle for a while without any cards coming up, then I'll just move on to the next Oracle deck, but sometimes we get additional messages here. Almost have one there. Okay, got one there. And next we'll see if we get any from them to you. Oh, got one, but it fell. So let me pick that up and we'll take a look at them. Okay, so on your side, we have time. And it says, I know the clock is ticking for us. Won't you wait for me? So interesting message there. I will say this would probably resonate for those of you where I did feel it was a much smaller percentage of you. But for those of you, if this energy really does represent that you guys are putting a heavy focus on your career and you're not really putting much effort into the connection, then that could be more of the message that will be coming across for you guys. And then on their side, we have baggage. And, all right. Seriously? Why won't it focus? All right, well, You could kind of sort of see it, but yeah, there we go. It says, I'm sweeping away toxicity to make room for what's truly important. So, could be one of those things where maybe this person does have that awareness, and maybe they do feel like, especially like I said, with the present energy, where they might have some intimidation as far as feeling like you're further ahead than they are, and they have to kind of step up in that regard. So this could be what this is pointing to, saying that, they are actually making the effort there. And I will say the Eight of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck is definitely an energy of making an effort, right? We talked about it when we saw it in the past position on your side. So it could just be saying that, they're getting there, but they're just a lot slower than you seem to be moving right now. Although, like I said, for some of you, if you are really putting a lot of focus into your careers, it could just be saying that it's a timing thing on both sides, and then that could be what the Judgment card is pointing to there too, which is to say, when the time is right between the two of you, it'll be fine. So hopefully that resonated with you. And next we'll pull a card from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck here. Same situation as far as I pre-shuffled this deck as well, but here I'm just looking for a single card and then we'll wrap up. All right, so let me put the deck down and we'll just pull a card. So give me a few seconds to tune in and we'll pull one. Okay, go here. All right, so you guys got building blocks. There's the artwork and the number is 28. So yeah, to me that almost has like a Saturn type energy to it, where it could just be saying, well, ironically, even that Saturn is in your sign now, but it could just be saying that, it's going to take a while for it to actually build up, but it does have the potential to do so. It says, strong foundations, a beautiful work in progress. The Oracle's message, you have everything you need to cultivate an extraordinary life. This is a time when your focus needs to be on the foundations you build upon. Your work, your relationships, and your very being are underwritten by your values, ethics, morals, and core beliefs. Are they still true for you? Will they stand the test of time and serve as the solid grounding upon which you construct your life? Now you are making changes that will affect everything in a positive way. Your destiny is truly a remarkable and beautiful design. So, pretty positive message there. And again, like I said, that makes you think of, well, aside from Saturn, you guys also have Jupiter in your sign. There's tons of energy still in your sign, but hopefully that resonated. The relationship message says, when you see this card, know that you are attracting new relationships into your life and solidifying the ones you already have by building them on the foundations of honesty, humility, clear communication, and a genuine desire to know one another. You are moving toward laying the groundwork for a relationship with the firm footing that will ensure it can withstand any storm. Long-standing relationships are also repaired and strengthened. You and the other person are stronger, wiser, and more powerful together than apart. So, pretty positive message there. And like I said, it could just be one of those things where it could be a timing situation on definitely their end, because it looks like they're building up and working on themselves. And maybe even on your end too, if you've just been putting a lot more focus on your career. So it could just be saying it's just a timing thing that will take care of itself. But hopefully that resonated with you guys. We'll wrap up there and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.